Alright, before anything, I just want to say this is a huge milestone for me. 2,000 subscribers. So yo, once again, thanks to every single one of you guys watching this video and anybody who has been subscribed to me for the longest time. I am so grateful for you guys because man, if it wasn't for you guys, I would not be doing this. So yeah, once again, just thank you so much for everything. Alright, before the actual video starts, before like the actual hot takes, I just want to say, hold on one second. I need to do a little bit of a roll call. Hey, where's Billy? Yes, Poppy? Get out! Alright, man, hold on. Yo, chill out, man. Hey, yo, where's Sonic at? Hey, yo, Sonic, you here? Yes, Daddy!
Whoa, man, what the fuck?
Alright, putting that aside, let's go into the first hot take. Alright, the first hot take is from my boy, Jay Wiggs. He says, Sonic Battle is one of the greatest Sonic games ever created. Now this, I can actually agree on because I personally play the game, and honestly, yes. This game is truly phenomenal. I feel like this was a great direction that Sega took back in the day. Now, if we talk about everything such as the combat, the story, and everything else, this game is truly peak for sure, and it's a great game. If you haven't checked it out, I would highly suggest that you check this game out just because number one, like as you guys can see on screen, this game's combat is truly just different compared from other Sonic games. Even the story feels peak as well, just because of the fact that every single character feels unique in this specific game, as well as every single character has their own type of story. And overall, the game and the flow of it just went really well together. So yeah, I can definitely agree that this is one of the best Sonic games ever created, and it's an underrated game as well. Alright, the next hot take is from my boy Bulila. I'm not gonna lie, man, I don't know how to say your name, so you're gonna have to forgive me, my boy. Okay, so the first hot take that he says is that there are obviously worse games than 06 like Sonic Labyrinth. Now this, I don't know, I've never played Sonic Labyrinth, so I can't really disagree or agree with this, but I can definitely say that there are obviously way worse games than Sonic 06. Oh, Sonic Boom all day. His second hot take is Silver has the potential to be a better character than Shadow, and yes, I can definitely agree with this just because we've had so much introduction and lore and backstory with Shadow, and we still don't know as much about Silver. So I feel like if we do get a complete, let's say, spin-off game with Silver, yeah man, honestly, we can probably know a lot more about this man, and I feel like if Sega does know how to write many stories and like good things and concepts with this man, oh yeah, he definitely can do a lot better than Shadow, to be honest. Hey man, don't get me into this like weird shipping thing you guys going on in the like the fandom, but like Son Amy, yeah, honestly that probably makes the most sense if we're being completely honest. Sonic and Amy are literally like the best type couple, like they're the big couple of the Sonic franchise because everybody from the beginning, they literally made Amy like Sonic, so it only makes sense for them to actually be a couple, I guess. Oh man, this just feels weird saying, man. And his last one is that Sonic Frontiers modding is overlooked and it should be cherished more. But yeah, honestly, yeah. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, from what I've seen, the modding community for Sonic Frontiers, dude, they have cooked so much. Now I don't know anything too much about the Frontiers modding and everything, but I've seen like some Pumpkin Hill stages and everything. Oh, dude, that looks beautiful. So yeah, I gotta agree with that. They just look beautiful. They look awesome. Now the next hot take is from a boy Legit Rololo. Hey man, like I said, if I mispronounce your name, you're gonna have to forgive me. But he says, Silver is the best character in the entire series, unlike Shadow. He isn't stuck in the past, he knows his future sucks, but he still fights. Also, I love how he can be serious, but fun at the same time. This I can actually agree with. Now listen, I love to glaze Shadow, he's my favorite character, but I love Silver as well. He's probably like my third favorite character, for being completely honest. But honestly, yeah, I can understand this. Like, Shadow is always thinking about Maria, Silver's always thinking about like, alright, what's the next thing that I gotta do? Like, he knows like my man can't be stuck in his past, because if he knows he's always thinking about his past, he knows it's gonna affect him and that he can't continue with whatever mission he needs to go on to next. So yeah, honestly, I gotta agree with you, my boy, just because, you know, I love Silver as well, and he is a fun character, and he does say some jokes from here and there, but like, they cringe, my boy. They truly just cringe. Okay, the next hot take is from my boy Pokely2728. Once again, I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, like, please forgive me. But he says, or she says, listen, I don't know, man. Sonic peaked at Sonic Spinball. I never played the game, but just by that little statement alone and the name of the game, yeah, buddy, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know about that one. But hey, listen, it could be true, I could be wrong, I have no idea, so I'm gonna let you guys decide on this one, because once again, hey, listen, I'm just reading your guys' hot takes, I don't know, man. So the next comment is from my boy Snail Pan. He says, 3D Blast is actually amazing. Now, listen, my boys, I've actually played Sonic 3D Blast recently, and honestly, it's a pretty okay-ish game. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but listen, this is his hot take. But yeah, honestly, if you enjoy it, then hey, Big credits to you, my boy. I mean, at the same time, you kind of got to give it credit just because of the fact that it's technically a Sonic 3D game, but it's not necessarily like a hype factor like Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Frontiers or any of those type of games. But yeah, it is an enjoyable game if you do really want to like focus into it a lot, but you know, it's an okay game. The next comment is from a boy, I'm Just CJ. He says, Amy should have remained more of a normal human-like character instead of this magical, strong, flawless, powerful, modern character that she is nowadays. Now I feel like I can somewhat agree with what he's trying to say, but at the same time I feel like Amy kind of needed some sort of character development in a way, just because of the fact that look at what everything that she's done in Sonic Frontiers as well. I mean, at the same time, like, yes, I know she's like, where'd she get all this like type card reading and all that type of stuff, magical things? Yeah, it's kind of like, what is that? But, you know, she is kind of unique into her own type of persona, and like I kind of do appreciate that from what Sega did, just because he was kind of like that side character who was kind of fading away, just being somewhat obnoxious and annoying all the time, just being like Sonic, Sonic, Sonic. So yeah, I kind of do understand what he's trying to say, but at the same time, I'm actually grateful to Sega that they actually took their time and actually made her do some type of character development and have her own type of personality compared to what she was before. Where of course she was always like, yo, Sonic help me, Tails help me, all that type of stuff, but now she can actually take a fight on her own. So hey, that's pretty cool. Alright, the next hot take is from my boy, The Realist Chiller. Yo, I like that username, my boy. I like it. He says, Sonic CD is the best classic Sonic game and it's not even close. Oh boy, buddy, the comments about to go crazy. But listen, I know many people love Sonic CD, but at the same time, I know many people who do tend to say, nah, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is literally the best classic Sonic game. Now, I can't really debate that because Sonic CD is not my favorite game, because honestly, this is going to be my hot take, but Sonic Superstars is currently my favorite game, so you guys might hate me for that. But listen, Sonic CD is a great game just because of the fact that it does a lot of time traveling, it has a unique story, and we were introduced to a ton of brand new characters that were very, very important to the series. The second take that he says is that the Werehog in Sonic Unleashed is actually very good. Now, you're probably talking to the wrong person because I actually do not like the Werehog. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's okay for me. But yeah, honestly, I know many people do tend to like the Werehog a lot more nowadays compared to when it first released. And of course, with everything going on with like the XP and all that type of stuff, you do get stronger, and it is pretty fun. You smashing across all these little demons in your way, like, bro, I want to beat you up. All right, hold on. But yeah, all right, let me calm down. But his third hot take is that Shadow is actually an overrated character, and he steals the hype from other characters such as Silver, Blaze, Knuckles, and etc. Now, once again, I do agree with this. Like, I know Shadow is literally like pretty much the second main character of this series. Like, he's always like the big poster boy besides Sonic. And obviously, you know, as much as I do love Shadow, once again, I feel like other characters deserve the same hypeness and glaze. Like, Silver deserves it. Like, he's probably the one in everybody's priority list to get an own game, or at least get like a Sonic X, Silver Unleashed, or Lost World, or something. Like, please, Sega, please. I understand you guys love Shadow, but we need other characters to get some love as well. And his last hot take is that Sonic Frontiers is a 5.5 out of 10. Now this, hey man, you had me there with the first three, but listen man, Sonic Frontiers, at least for me, was an 8. Honestly, I really enjoyed the open world that it had, the open zone that you can do, the abundant type challenges and missions. And I wasn't, you know, a huge fan of like the actual level design and everything, but they were also really cool as well. So that could just be me though, but hey, everyone is free to express their own opinion here. Alright, the next hot take is from my boy Kumar Shalin. I hope I said your name right. He says, although I hate overpriced games and criticize Nintendo for that in my mind, but I am not like that when it comes to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, because I think Sega were pressured by owners of other IPs like Hatsune Miku and Minecraft to increase the price, but I'm still happy to listen from what you guys think is the reason. You know, they pretty much raised the price of it. So basically what he's saying is that pretty much Nintendo had no reason to put the $80 price tag on Mario Kart World, while Sega did have some sort of reason, as Minecraft and these other IPs did kind of pressure them maybe into putting these other characters into Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Now I can kind of agree with what he's saying, but at the same time it's kind of like, you know, $70 is kind of a hefty price, especially the $90 price tag for the Digital Deluxe, which at this point it's whatever, but I do understand them just because we have other characters such as Joker from Persona, the Ichiban guy, and other characters such as Hatsune Miku and Minecraft, and we don't even know what the other ones are going to be, as we all know SpongeBob is going to be as well in the game. But yeah, Nintendo, we already know that they're greedy, so they pretty much just made the $80 price tag, and they even told you, hey, if you don't want it, then get a Switch 1, so that just shows their greed. Sega, on the other hand, we don't know if it's greed on their part, or if they were actually pressured into making the price tag even more, because this is a spin-off game once again. Alright, the next hot take is from a boy, Total Mike Lover. He says, I have a few here. Sonic Forces is better than Sonic CD. Hey, bro. I don't know about that one, chief. He also says Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric is better than every Game Gear game. Now for that I might have to disagree with it just because of the fact that I know many people do prefer the Game Gear game, and you know, not many people were huge on Sonic Boom with the series and of course the gameplay aspect of it. Sonic and the Black Knight is better than Sonic Dream Team. Now this I can actually agree with it just because of the fact that I recently did play Sonic Dream Team, and although it is really fun and it has like many missions, challenges, the gameplay aspect of it is really cool, but I'm just not really huge on it as it felt kind of slippery in a way, but I did enjoy it. But Sonic and Black Knight, I've never played it, but from what I've heard, it's a spectacular game, 10 out of 10 game from what I've heard, so that's just, hey, listen. Sonic Dream Team is the worst boost game. Now this, I can probably agree with it just because, you know, we do have games such as Unleashed, Generations, and other games, even including Forces. I'm not even gonna lie, Forces does have a good boosting type of gameplay, so I gotta give you that. And the last hot take is that Sonic Advance 2 is the worst advanced games, including Battle. Like, you talking about like Sonic Battle? Hey man, if it's Sonic Battle, then I might have to disagree with you, I ain't gonna lie. Sonic Battle is low-key the GOAT of the GBA games, but honestly at the same time I might have to agree with you. Many people do say that Sonic Advance 2 is the worst out of the three, so I might have to hand it to you, my boy. But going back to the Sonic Forces is better than Sonic CD, now I can definitely say that Sonic Forces is a lot more polished than Sonic CD, but at the same time you can't even lie. The story of Sonic CD is 10 times better than Sonic Forces. Now once again, Sonic Forces did have a lot of potential, it just felt really incomplete at the same time. And I'm not even a huge 2D Sonic fan, but I honestly might play Sonic CD over Sonic Forces, but hey, that's just me though. What do you guys think? The next hot take is from a boy, Sniker, I think that's how you say your name, I'm sorry my boy, but he says Shadow will get another shot at getting his own game. Now this I can possibly see, but it won't happen for like the longest time. Once again, we did get Shadow Generation, so I can understand where this is coming from, and he's literally such a popular character, but once again, I can see this happening maybe like in the next 10 to 15 years, because right now we literally just got Shadow Generations last year, and at the same time I know Sega is gonna want to give more characters their time to shine as well. The next hot take is from a boy, Saiyan King Art. He says Sonic Heroes isn't as bad as many people think, same goes to Unleashed and Generations, although I didn't play a lot of them since I had the PS2 version and only sometimes played the HD version of my cousin's PS3. About Sonic Gens, I bought the sonicx Shadow Generations Friday with a huge discount, so he's been playing the Shadow Generations a lot. Now once again, he did have like other hot takes, but this video would be like 30,000 years long, but once again, if I can't get to every single hot take, forgive me my boys. But yeah, do I think Sonic Heroes is overhated? I honestly think yes, but at the same time I can kind of understand where the people are coming from, just because, buddy, like I said, I'm doing my own playthrough of Sonic Heroes and I'm not the hugest fan of it just because of the bugs, the glitches, and how slippery the gameplay feels. Like, I don't know what they were thinking when they took this turn of events with the gameplay of Sonic Heroes compared to Sonic Adventure 2. But hey, that's just me though. As for Sonic Unleashed and Generations, I don't think it's as hated as much as Sonic Heroes, because I know many people who tend to love Generations and Sonic Unleashed. I think at this point, Unleashed is literally the highest and the prioritized game for many people to get a remaster or a remake. Same goes with the adventure games, but at the same time, I understand Unleashed is because everybody loves the boost formula in that game. So I'm pretty sure that's why Sega wanted to take the safe route and they went the same pretty much formula with Generations. Alright, the next hot take is from my boy Mr. King K. I love to call this man Mr. Krabs, but let's go. He says the kiss in Sonic 06 isn't nearly as bad as most people say it is. I don't know how to feel about that, my boy, because many people do say it's pretty cringe, but at the same time I feel like it kind of made sense with the story. And I guarantee you Sega was going for like more of this like Disney princess type of thing. Oh yo, if I kiss this man, he's gonna get me more powerful. So yeah man, I mean, what else do you expect? He also says Sonic Forces is more harmful to the Sonic franchise than any other bad Sonic game. Now this I can kind of agree with, just because I know for a fact that many people do tend to compare Sonic Forces to Sonic 06, once again leading back to that first hot take, where many people do say that Sonic 06 was like the whole ruin disaster type of era for Sonic, but at the same time Sonic Forces was literally a game that many people were looking forward to for the longest time, especially with everything Sega was leading up to, and then boom, what happened? It was a total disaster. So I can understand what he's trying to say. And of course, super forms needing rings is not just a game mechanic, as it's also canon. Now this I can actually agree with it, just because we've actually seen many different areas, not only from the games, but of course TV shows as well. They literally represent Sonic grabbing rings to keep his you know, his super form pretty much. And the last hot take is, of course, he says that the Chaos Emerald should have remained a mystery rather than, you know, pretty much being out there to the entire world. And I can kind of agree with this just because of the fact that, yeah, the Chaos Emeralds and their power should not have been revealed to anyone, because if someone knew, such as, you know, Dr. Eggman and other people, they would literally just use it for evil things and be all powerful and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it should have just been a mystery to many people. Alright, the next hot take is from a boy, it's Levi. He says, Sonic 06 is the second best Sonic game in the series. Oh boy, my boy. Yeah, I don't know if many people are going to agree with that, but yes, honestly, I'm a huge 06 defender, and I personally love the game just because, buddy, we got Silver, we got Mephiles, the story was type gold, it was peak, man. But yeah, I understand, the game was really glitchy, had many bugs, it just, you know, ran terribly. But honestly, if you look past the glitches and everything, the game does have a bunch of potential. The game, buddy, I don't know how to explain it to you guys. I know you guys that hate 06. Trust me, the game is truly just phenomenal without the glitches. And of course, it was supposed to be Sonic Adventure 3, but, you know, whatever. He also says that Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic and the Secret Rings are A-tier games, and of course, now I can't really disagree nor agree with this just because of the fact that I've never played both of these games and I really want to, but the only thing that I've been hearing about Sonic and the Black Knight is that it's a very like loved game by the community, but Secret Rings is kind of like really underrated just because of the motion controls, and that's understandable just because of the fact that it was literally the first game out of the two to implement motion controls, and it's, you know, it wasn't that great to be honest. But yeah, from what I've heard, the story in Black Knight is pretty goated, and same thing goes with Secret Rings, so I don't know, I'm gonna let you guys decide on that. He also says that Sonic Battle also has one of the greatest stories in the franchise, and it's severely underrated by the community, and of course I can definitely say that I do agree with this because I remember when I first played the game, I was really like heavily invested into this game, and I feel like I personally grew with like every single character there, as everyone had their own type of story and connection to Emerald. So yeah, I would definitely give this game like an A tier type of story, you know. The next hot take is from my boy Robo757. He says OG Generations is just okay. Now for this, I can see where many people stand because many people were like, okay, the story wasn't the greatest, it was probably the lowest point of the game, and I guess many people's complaint as well was classic Sonic, but at the same time, I'm not the hugest 2D fan of Sonic, but he actually felt overpowered in this game, but I guess that's another complaint that many people have. I honestly don't know, I personally love Generations, so you're probably asking the wrong person, and yeah, I really do like the boosting in Sonic Generations, so I mean they did pretty much copy it from Sonic Unleashed, so hey, I'm glad that they pretty much played it safe there. Okay, so this is not really a hot take, this is more of a question, I guess he's asking me, but my boy Gumi, he's asking who is stronger, Sonic Frontiers or Shadow from Shadow Generations. Now this I'm gonna let you guys decide because I'm not huge on these type of power scaling type of stuff, but if you have to ask me, I would probably say Sonic Frontiers because even though Shadow does have the Doom powers in Shadow Gens, I feel like those would not even compare with the super form that Sonic has and the new transformation with the cyber stuff and everything, so I might have to give it to Sonic from Frontiers. The next hot take is from my boy DK Guillotine, I'm sorry my boy, but hey, he says Frontiers is freaking peak and doesn't get anywhere enough credit as it deserves, and this I can definitely agree on because Frontiers is personally one of my favorite games. It's definitely in my top 3 just because, buddy, I love the open world, the open zone that it has, the different missions and everything that you can do in the game. The boosting feels a little bit different, but honestly I can get, past that, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I mean the game is definitely peak for me. It's not necessarily one of the greatest games. The story was pretty good. It wasn't necessarily like all the way up there, but yeah, it does deserve some love and not the hate that it gets from many people. Oh boy, this is going to be a long one, but this is from my boy Accelerate Hedge. He says Sonic Riders Zero Gravity is one of the greatest games in the series. That's already a fact, I'm not gonna lie. I have a myriad, I don't know how you say that word, my boy, but hey, listen, of reasons why I feel this way that I could yap about for hours, and trust me, I will. Oh gosh. But I'll just summarize it like this. The gravity mechanics introduce a level of experimentation and playing with the environment via skilled meter management that is damn near unparalleled. It leads to some of the most insane skips in any Sonic game. The first Riders is phenomenal, but at a certain point, when I had fully mastered it, it started to stagnate. Listen man, this is why you should stay in school, my boys. I'm still in school, by the way. I can never run out of new things to do in Zero Gravity, no matter how hard I cannot speak, man, how hard I try. Nearly every time I play, I find a new way to exploit its movement. It's so much fun. Also, the trick system has more in depth than most people think, and I'll leave a link, I guess, to his video, G-Dubs, I guess. I don't know how to say that man's name. Now I do gotta give credit where credit is due. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, I recently played it, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it is a phenomenal game. Even though I know at first I kinda sucked and I don't get the controls still, I'm currently still mastering it. I feel like it might be better than the first Riders game, and I know many people can probably say the exact same, just because, buddy, it's completely different than the first game. The first game is pretty simple and straightforward. This game, you kind of have to master your own technique and drifts and everything that you gotta do in the game. So, not gonna lie, I would probably give this game like an A tier, possibly an S tier if I have to replay it again. Now, the next hot take is from my boy Brian. He says Lost World is very fun and overlooked. Now, you're probably talking to the wrong guy because I do not like Sonic Lost World, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the parkour it has, but yes, I can definitely understand the fun part of the game. Yes, many people do tend to love this, as it was a different type of approach that Sega took, as this game was pretty much a copy of Mario Galaxy, as it has many aspects and many gimmicks that the Mario Galaxy games has. So yeah, I can probably agree with this, even though I don't like the game. I'm not gonna disagree that it's a fun game. It is a pretty fun game, as it introduced many new mechanics that we've never seen in any Sonic game before. The next hot take is from my boy Serbius. He says Sonic as a series is way better in Japanese and English. The voice acting, the tone, and even the way the characters are portrayed are just hit different. And honestly, I can't really say yes or no to this just because I've actually never seen it or heard it in Japanese, but I've definitely seen many people in this argument to where people were saying, yes, Sonic X or any type of Sonic sounds a lot better in Japanese than English, as it probably has, I guess, more emotions or something. The characters sound more genuine in the English version, and I'm not gonna lie, I might have to agree with that, even though I've never seen it or heard it, because yeah, buddy, the current Sonic cast that we have right now, oh boy, yeah, buddy, it does not hit. Okay, the next hot take is from my boy F. Kinnell. I don't know how you say your name, my boy, but he says, I enjoyed Surge, more of a character than Scourge. Yep, I said it. That's crazy. Don't get me wrong, Scourge is not bad by any means. I just find him more incredibly generic as a villain, and the only thing he has going for him is that he's probably more cocky than Sonic. Now, honestly, I'm not really a huge fan of these side characters, but yes, I'm not gonna lie, beforehand, previously, I was a huge fan of Scourge. So, hey, everyone is free to say their own opinion, and honestly, I might have to agree with this just because, I mean, from what I've seen beforehand with Scourge, yeah, he might seem like a really generic villain, and yeah, he probably is just very cocky. That's pretty much all he has going for him. Nothing too sinister, nothing too crazy going on with him, but you know, it is what it is. The next hot take is from my boy Hayek 2025. He says, Sonic Frontiers 2, or whatever it's called, shouldn't have Tails, Knuckles, or Amy. They already said that they're doing their own things in Frontiers 1, so having them again will kind of ruin what they did in Sonic Frontiers 1. So yeah, honestly, I kind of agree with this, but at the same time, I feel like they kind of had their own flow, and I think maybe what Sega was trying to do was test the waters with different characters, because who knows, maybe they can introduce possibly new characters such as Silver, Blaze, Rouge in Sonic Frontiers 2, or whatever it's called, like he said. So honestly, maybe we might not see Tails, Knuckles, or Amy in Sonic Frontiers 2, but we can possibly see other characters, so I agree with this statement. Okay, the next hot take is from my boy Franco Gagni, or Gagne, listen my boy. He says, Sonic Lost World is better than all the classic games, Colors, Colors Ultimate, Sonic Heroes, and Adventure 2. Oh my goodness, that's kind of crazy. Sonic Lost World? Yeah, buddy, I'm not gonna lie, I might have to disagree with you. Yo, although I do not like many of these games, I have to say that I prefer having somewhat of a boost type of formula in Colors Ultimate, Colors whatever, you know, Adventure, Heroes, even though I'm not a fan of it, over the slow-paced game that Sonic Lost World is. His second hot take is that Colors Ultimate is better than Colors 2010. This, I'm not gonna lie, maybe could be true. I mean, I know many people do tend to compare both of the games, and that Colors from 2010 was a lot better than the Ultimate version just because it had better coloring, it was a lot easier to control, there was not too many glitches. So honestly, I can't really, you know, say anything because I've never played Colors from the previous, I guess, Wii version. So I can't really say anything, but I mean, hey, I'm gonna leave that to you guys. His third hot take is that Shadow 05 is better than Heroes in every possible way, and I'm not gonna lie, I might have to agree with that because I did play Shadow 05 and I would much rather play Shadow 05 compared to Heroes, because Heroes is, oh my goodness, the glitches and everything that it has, it feels a lot slippery, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like they did improve a lot with, you know, Shadow 05. His fourth hot take is that the Werehog is a lot better than Classic Sonic in Generations. Now this, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of the Warhawk, so you talking to the wrong person, my boy. But listen, classic Sonic in Generations is probably one of the best aspects of it, as well as, you know, they did do the drop dash and a bunch of other things that many people did say it was overpowered, and I would much rather play as classic Sonic, pretty much speed through every stage than taking 3 years to complete one single stage in Unleashed. And the last hot take that he has is that Silver the Hedgehog is actually a great character to play as in Sonic 06, and this I have to agree with just because they did bring in many new mechanics into the game. It was a brand new character, and he did have, you know, the telekinesis type powers, and it was just overall a great type game experience for new players, I guess, even though the game was broken. The next hot take is from my boy Goofy Goober. I love that name, by the way. Unleashed and SA2 are so overrated, bro. Like, I like the cyberspace levels to some extent, and classic Sonic's version of Escape from the City is the best rendition of that song. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have to agree with my boys. SA2 and Unleashed are glazed too much, I'm not gonna lie. I love those games, but, you know, they're not my cup of tea all the time. Listen, man, I personally love Unleashed and SA2 like so much, and I might have to say that I prefer Unleashed over SA2, but buddy, I think it's the fandom, like the glazers, that take it way too far. But listen, that's just my personal opinion that I've seen where people are like, yo, this is the best game and nothing else beats it. But I'm not a fan of the treasure hunting or the mech stages that Tails and Eggman have. No, buddy, that's not for me, and I'm not a fan of the Warhog, so that's just my personal opinion, man. As for the cyberspace levels, I kind of have to agree with that. I wasn't the hugest fan of them at the same time, but, you know, they did have a new type of, you know, I guess formula to them, but, you know, it's whatever. As for classic Sonic's song from Escape from the City, and I'm guessing this is from Generations, yes, I'm not gonna lie, I much rather prefer that song over the original, but that just could be me. But whenever I do my videos, I actually use the classic song a lot more than modern Sonics. I don't know what it is, but I feel like they did justice to classic Sonic more in Generations than actual modern Sonic, which is crazy. Alright, the next hot take is from a boy Devin Sauls. He says Shadow's better than Sonic. I mean, we all have our own preferences, you know, you feel me? Sonic 2, the game, is overrated. I never played Sonic 2, so I can't really say if it's overrated or not. I personally never, you know, tried it out, so I can't really say it, so I'm gonna leave that to you guys. He says that Amy is overrated and that Cream the Rabbit deserves better. But yeah, honestly, Amy being overrated, I can see where he's going with this, especially after Frontiers, but at the same time, I feel like she's an okay character, and that she does deserve the character development that she did have over the years. And of course, we do have Cream, who, you know, she definitely needs to have some form of, like, something, please. Like, she deserves to be glazed as well, like Silver Blaze. Come on, she deserves to have the potential to do something. The next hot take is from my boy Francie. He says Colors is overrated. Now, this I can probably agree on, just because I've seen many people who do say that Sonic Colors is an okay-ish game, but at the same time they like glaze it too much, and I'm like, dude, I don't like the wisps, but you know, it is what it is. Everyone has their own preference. Sonic X Shadow Generations Rewrite is way better than the original game. I'm not gonna lie, I know many people who do agree with this, and I personally agree with it just because they did fix many things from previous games. The last half of Sonic 2 is boring. Once again, I never played the game, so I can't really say it, so I'm gonna leave that, you know, in your guys' hands. And Sega should not bring back Hypersonic in future games. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge Hypersonic sucker, so I would love to see that return, and honestly, hey, if he comes back for Crossworlds, oh dude, that would be sick. Like, imagine like he's some DLC character or something. I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty goated, just because they can do some sort of reference to like Sonic Riders or something like that. Hey, who knows, man. And his last hot take is that Sonic Superstars, the OST in it, is not as bad as many people tend to say it is, which this I can agree with, because personally when I play the game, which I currently am doing it right now, I personally love the OST and soundtracks that it does have, even though I know many people do tend to hate on it, but that could just be my opinion as well. So the next hot take is from my boy DJ. He says Sonic 06 isn't a bad game. Have most of you even played it? And no, I'm not talking about P06. I mean the PS3 version of Sonic 06. And this, I'm not gonna lie, once again, I am a huge 06 defender. I love it. I personally love the story. I love the gameplay mechanics that it introduced with all these brand new characters. So I was like, dude, this is pretty cool with like everything that they took from previous games and pretty much built upon it a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie, because once again, this game was supposed to be, I guess, Sonic Adventure 3, and everything just about the game is pretty much peak. Just once again, the glitches and everything pretty much just took it down for many people. And I mean, what else can you expect from, you know, this game? When I first played the game, I'm not even gonna lie, I barely experienced glitches or bugs, but recently when I played it again, I did experience some bugs and glitches, but I mean, I had a good time. I personally enjoyed it. I mean, I feel like they did a great job with Mephiles and, you know, Solaris, all that type of stuff with the story. And the crazy part is that they've never actually had a villain kill Sonic, so that was pretty much like a great deal breaker to many people, and they're like, yo, this guy's crazy. So, I mean, Sonic 06 has gotta be in the top 10 for at least for me. So, hey man, like I said, I glaze 06, so that's just me though. The next hot take is from my boy Connor7Z. He says Sonic Colors Ultimate isn't bad. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've never played the original, so I can't really say anything. So, Sonic Colors Ultimate was my first experience of playing Sonic Colors, and to be honest, I didn't really get too many glitches or bugs with, you know, many people saying that they did receive it. But, hey man, I personally had a great experience with the game, but you know, many people do tend to say that the game isn't as great as the original, such as the coloring, lighting effects, and all that type of stuff. But, you know, I mean, I play the game for its gameplay, and yes, I know the story might be pretty cringe, but it's whatever, I guess. The next hot take is from a boy, Debbie. He says Sonic Forces is better than Sonic CD and Sonic Colors. Now, you guys already heard what I said earlier about Sonic Forces and Sonic CD, so I don't gotta really explain myself again. But Sonic Colors, I mean, yeah, honestly, I would much rather prefer playing Sonic Forces over Colors. Now, I know many people are probably gonna hate me for that, but I personally just enjoy getting rings to boost and, you know, much rather play that type of game over Sonic Colors with the wisps and everything. I'm just not a huge fan of the wisps. So, hey, that's just my personal opinion, so you guys are free to disagree. And let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. The next hot take is from a boy, The Dinosaur. He says, Sonic Heroes is worse than Sonic 06. Now this, I can say that many people do hold Sonic Heroes really like close and dear to them, and they tend to hate on Sonic 06 a lot more, but I personally might actually have to go with Sonic 06 just because of the fact that Heroes, like I said, I just rage whenever I play Heroes. Like, even though I know it doesn't have as many bugs or glitches compared to Sonic 06, I just don't like the physics, the slipperiness that it has of its gameplay compared to Sonic 06. So listen, that's just mine. My own opinion, I don't know, man. You guys can disagree. And the very final hot take is from my boy, I don't know, me boy. He says, Sonic 06 is better than Sonic Forces, and I remember I made a poll about this a couple months ago, or possibly weeks, and Sonic 06, I would have to say, is the better game, and I know many people in this channel who do love Sonic Forces, but I personally have to go with 06, as 06 did have a complete and better story compared to Forces, and even though it was very glitchy, the level design in 06 is 10 times better the level design in Sonic Forces. So, hey, once again, that's just me though. But yeah, we made it to the finale of the video, and once again, I know I couldn't include everybody's hot take because then this video would be at least like an hour and 30 minutes long, and I know I'm gonna bore you guys. So what I'm thinking is I'm probably gonna make a part 2 to this, if not maybe a different type of hot takes video. But once again, I really am grateful for all the hot takes that you guys gave me and left me in the comments. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, these are great hot takes, I'm not gonna lie. So hey, big ups to you guys. But yeah, if you had to ask me what my hot take is, I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? Rouge? Oh, come on, man. It's right in the title of the thing. She needs bigger. Alright. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I mean? They kind of nerfed her in Sonic X Shadow Generation, so you feel me? But yeah, I don't really have any hot takes because once again, I leave it to you guys. But once again, I'm truly just really grateful for you guys, and thank you guys for every single comment that you guys have left me for this video and for everything else. I truly am very grateful for you guys. And yeah, this is probably going to be one of my longest videos that I've ever done for this channel. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Once again, hashtag, I guess we're going to be on the road to 3K now. So thank you guys so much for everything. I really am grateful. This is a huge milestone for me. This is crazy. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. And once again, thank you. Stay safe, take care, and peace.